How's it going, everyone? What you're going to see today is some nice shotgun gameplay here. The one you're going to find for the most part that I use is the 870 MCS, which again was the primary first one you got in Battlefield 3. This one here is a fantastic shotgun in my opinion. It's probably my favorite. I haven't unlocked them all yet, but I've tried all the ones I have unlocked, and I only have 2 more I think to go. And this one has been absolutely spectacular. I'll break down exactly what I use with it and the strategies I use to be effective. For the most part, I am playing domination. These were all, I think, 64-man servers when I was playing today, so there's lots of targets. You basically have to read your minimap and flank to make sure, and try to remain behind cover at all times so that if someone fires at you, the suppression amount's reduced, and you can actually use something to absorb the bullets instead of yourself. So you move from cover to cover. You always have your head on a swivel, make sure that you see everything in your surroundings. But on top of all that, you have to, well, first and foremost, read your minimap. If you're not reading your minimap at all times, having your eye on that minimap to make sure that you're moving into an area that may be a spawn, has people staring in multiple different directions to target you, ideally may spot you. If you're not aware of that, you're in serious trouble. That being said, playing very aggressive with a shotgun running around, you will die. There'll be times where you guess right, there'll be times where you guess wrong, and you'll still end up dying. Other times it'll be like this run here where I go on a 5 or 6 kill streak before I finally get taken down. It's trial and error, it's fun, it's reading your minimap and constantly making adjustments on the fly. That said, like I was saying, for now, this is my favorite gun to use, the 870 MCS, and I'll break down what I'm using for it. First of all, you can use a reflex sight on it, but because it's a shotgun for me and I was so used to using just the iron sights in Battlefield 3, I just prefer iron sights. The accessory, I tend to use the laser sight because it'll increase your hip fire accuracy, because you will be hip firing a lot. It's a shotgun. The laser sight will give you a 25% reduction in the hip fire penalty, so that's nice. Green or laser sight's pretty much the same, so I guess it's a color preference, depends on what you want. But that next up is the barrel. This one, the muzzle brake improves stability by reducing muzzle climb by 25%. You can use that. The compensator, you can use stability. It improves stability by reducing muzzle drift by 25. You don't really need to use this. The gun doesn't drift much. It just tends to recoil up. The next one is the duck bill, and that flattens the normal spread of pellets horizontally. For the most part, unless you're firing into a group of 2 or 3 who happen to be beside each other, you're not really going to see a big impact out of this. So I don't really use the duck bill. The modified choke moderately tightens the shot spread for improved accuracy, but gives penalties for stability and hip fire. It's not recommended for slugs, and full choke is pretty much exactly the same, just it's even tighter. And again, not recommended for slugs. So if you were going to use the dart rounds, or you were going to use just the regular pellets, I'd highly recommend using the modified or the full choke, and then equip that with a laser sight to counteract the hip fire accuracy penalty, and then you've got a hell of a gun in hip fire situations and down the sights. But if you weren't going to be doing that and you were going to be using the slugs like I did for most of the video here, my recommendation would be to use, well, just like I was saying, probably the muzzle brake with the slugs. And the slug, if you're not sure, but I'm pretty sure you do, is a basically plastic sabot slug designed to engage the rifling in the shotgun barrel. Provides increased accuracy and vastly improved range. And you'll see it, and especially at the start of the video where I shot a guy out the window at probably 100 meters away. That's the kind of range this gun has with slugs. A lot of people don't like it and feel it's overpowered, but it's basically like it would be in real life, and I know I hate bringing up the whole real life thing because it's a video game, but I do like some realism in video games, despite the fact that I know it's a video game and it has to be balanced, which means some things will be unrealistic. But come on, a metal slug round firing at several hundred meters per second to the chest is going to do damage, so that's what you want. But that being said, my primary loadout I'd say I use the most is the iron sights, laser sight, muzzle brake, and the slugs. I'll use the choke if I choose to use the darts, or I choose to use the pellets. That's basically the only difference. Other than that, I'd say just use the strategies I was talking to you about earlier. Figure out what works best for you and the scenario that works for you. If you plan on getting an encounter sort of in the range that I'm in here, I'd highly recommend using the slug rounds. Because if you're indoors and you're fighting, say, room to room, you could get away with using the pellets. They'll probably be better. You could spread out the damage to the guy's chest or even multiple different targets. But you have to use it in such and if you're in this room here, look, this is the perfect spot for pellets. Look at all these guys just lined up, and then just target them and shoot them down, no problem. And it spreads, and you can actually unleash multiple damage to multiple different targets. But that's indoors in close quarters. Slug rounds are for more longer range shots, and if you're accurate, you can knock guys down from, like I was saying, hundreds of meters. So basically, that's the gist of it. That was my breakdown. Hope you enjoyed the highlights. And for you personally, just pick the right loadout for the right situation, and you'll find great success if you read your mini-map. Thanks again. See you later.
Objective Charlie has been neutralized.